You know, I think my chat put it perfectly here. Last time they went full Sean, didn't they get stomped? Yes, they did, which is why they've begun the innovation. Boys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to the Team AoE 4 action. We are joined by the Sweat Lords again. That's right, they rallied together. We have got the adult, a.k.a. Corvinus. Next to them is going to be Warman Cutie. Next to her is going to be Voldemar, the kid. And then rounding it out at the front, gold with cult knowledge, it is, of course, Beasty Cutie. Last time we saw the pros come together in 4v4s, they tried to exploit the Jeanne D'Arc arc of the team strats. Jeanne de Quad didn't quite work out because it wasn't true to form. Jeanne de Triplets is more believable. And then to lead them to victory on the front, Beasty Cutie has whipped out the most sweaty of civs. It is a deli pick. Their opponents on the other side's a little bit more diverse. At the front, we've got Gotcha playing as a Juji, who might find himself Got instead. Behind them is going to be a deli player for this team as well, called Who Dat Is. And then Pink is going to be playing Jeanne D'Arc. Nerf Byzantines already. Wait, what? You're playing Jeanne? Okay, we'll come back to you. Because rounding it out at the back, we've got Ivy Spiritual playing as Japanese. Kind of an appropriate name, as they're probably going to be the boomer in this game at the back. We are, of course, going to be engorged the best map in the game for team games. I will stand by that. I will die on this hill. There is no map in the game better for playing team now. We'll have to see how this team plays. They did try the strategy before. We alluded to that at the start. We have a video up on the YouTube channel called Jeanne de Quad. You can check how that worked out for them there when they went for 4 Jeannes. I believe that game had Beasty, Myriad, Corvinus, and someone else. Apologies, whoever I'm forgetting. Let's just say it was not exactly fully planned out. But I imagine they've had time to review this. They've had time to think about this because they seem like a sweaty bunch here. And this feels like a sweaty comp. So on the opening, of course, nothing too out of the ordinary. We are just going to see the tech ups from each player. I'm expecting no trade here. You could try for it. It just feels a little bit exposed in this matchup. We'll have to see, though. School of Cavalry comes down from Voldemar to open up. There's also going to be a School of Cavalry for Warman. And then there had to be one, and it had to be Corvinus. He goes for the Chamber of Commerce because, of course, he's in the greedy position. So he feels a little bit more able to get away with this. Meanwhile, on the flip side of this, we're going to see Red going in for the Kura Storehouse. Love the positioning. This is an underrated position for the Kura Storehouse. Places it right next to the wood line. This is a universal drop-off building. It's not just for food. Think of it the same way you would as an Archon Chapel. Anything can be dropped inside it. So this basically saves him resources on Lumber Camp. And he's also going to get some nice placements in the beginning straight towards his TC with the farm spawning on the left side here and rotating clockwise. Pink, meanwhile, of course, going School of Cavalry. Looks like Blue is going to be going Tower of Victory. I'm expecting... Oh, I guess I was expecting both players to go Tower of Victory, but not Beasty here. Opts for the Dome of Faith instead. Interesting choice. I imagine it's because he's trying to rush out to those sacred sites a bit quicker. The cool idea behind this is that you can kind of afford to do this because you don't need your own infantry to protect you. You're going to have 2 Jeanne D'Arc spamming knights to protect you on those flanks. Another cool detail about this comp, by the way, by going for the Dome of Faith, over time, with Beasty also being the front player, what he's going to have is a hospital, right? Every time these knights come back from their battles, they're going to be able to heal up to full, courtesy of the scholars. The Beasty theoretically should be spamming non-stop here. So we'll see what the Northern team can do, because rounding out is going to be Jiangnan Tower. That is a very curious choice. What? Really? Jiangnan first? On a map like this? I really would never have expected that. I'm a little bit confused, actually. I mean, Jiangnan Tower, and they've only got 6 people working on the wood. Typically, if you're going to make this build work, it requires, I'd say, about like 8 people already on wood, because you're all about that rapid initial production. Very surprising choice here. I mean, you shouldn't actually get to Song. The only thing I can think here is instead they're going to rush Castle Age, but if you're going to do that, then you know, all the builds that make sense, you would not go Jiangnan, you'd go Meditation Garden. So Rack's now being dropped, that's going to spawn spears for free. I really am still shocked by this, folks. I mean, a Meditation Garden in this place right here would have gotten the gold, the wood, and the food. Would have probably been about 100 resource generation per minute. Instead, he says no. Could have even came over here from... Nah, that's too far for double berries, isn't it? Usually you get, like on this map with Gorge, usually you get reliable 90, 100 resource drops quite often. But something to keep in mind in general, when it comes to the balance of Meditation Gardens, I think Meditation Gardens are a bit more reasonable in team games because the resources tend to spread wider, so it's harder to get those broken spawns where you get double berries underneath one Meditation Garden. Unless your name is Warman. And again, she's not playing as Shuji, so this is acceptable. Out of the deal already, though. I like that. I mean, you have more aggro on your side, right? Like, you're talking about 1 Jeanne versus 3. So naturally, this team is going to be more focused on the front side of the engagements. Warman already arriving here. Looks like a villager did go down. So Raiden was effective to open up from pink. Looks like we are going to see moves out onto the flanks now. So Jeanne D'Arc from Voldemar going out for the Pumbaa. Interesting that not rotating together. Usually you want to be in sync with each other, but it looks like Warman had to guard in the center here, so Voldemar instead will be the one exploiting the XP. 25 a pop. There's a decent amount in this area. Could go for the second and third board instead. Might be looking to wrap back towards center here. People asking, who is Nerf Byzantine? They are players from the ranked leaderboard. I don't think we had a specific identity. Actually, that one, I think I've seen that name somewhere. I just don't know where. They're ranked 453rd. Nerf Byzantines already is actually the highest ranked player on this team. They're ranked 226th in team ladder. Outside that, who dat is, by comparison, is about a 1,400, 1,300 ranked player in both team and solo. Flash in the center. A lot of woman arms here. Nobody want to go in the hunter form. Cleave's coming through here. Appeal back just in time by Nerf Byzantines already, but starting to swarm over them a bit. The Skull's on the front side. I said we were going to see this, and I love it. Like, it is just basically the old combat healing build logic. The reason it can work in team games is you have to remember that combat healing used to heal for double what it does now. Herbal medicine used to be busted. They nerfed the crap out of that. And that nerf was pretty effective in 1v1s. But in team games, where your priority is different, where you are dedicated to X or Y unit, it's a very different schematic that allows this type of scholar build to work, especially on a map like Gorge. I actually think that this works because of the map selection more than anything else. And I think that Beasty has played enough games by now to know how the players are going to spawn based on their placement in the lobby, and it's why he picked the deli. If he was deli at the back side of this build doesn't work. Deli at the front side, it works for so many reasons. The sacred sites are right next to you. Like, literally look at that distance. That's insane, right? A sacred site on the same screen as your TC. But then the added benefit is obviously your whole team are going to gather their forces in front of your base. So you can always just pop these scholars out, heal them, and then immediately go back to researching. Really cool read. Looks like the Jeanne from the north side is going to try to contest these sacred sites, but army's on the way. I mean, the woman arms is very low. This wait, Corvinus, whoa, gets the heal out just in time. Cleave comes through as well, but I think you're dead. That may have been slightly overambitious. I think the worry there for Corvinus was he was worried about protecting his trade by the looks of it. Still gets punished nonetheless. Walls now going up, so there's another beautiful thing about playing the deli here, right? It's like usually walling at this stage, especially on an open map like Gorge, and team play especially is difficult to do, but the deli do have that ability. North side, we've got Voldemar just on guard against everything coming. He's pretty much holding this down by his own. In fact, he has been holding it on his lonesome this entire time. I don't think he was even really involved in the central clashes, so pretty cool that the kid's been able to do that. This has a spillover effect as well. As these knight numbers start to rally, he's going to get the ability to start diving into the eco of the central players. Back players, by the way, have still not contributed anything. Red, he's finally trying to with Spears plus Ona Bagishas. That's going to be slow to arrive. Everything there, by the way, getting countered by just archers. Sacred Site timers are still ticking down. They've been ticking down for like, what, about a minute and a half now? At some point, you have to choose a direction and go for the decap. The worry I am having is if they overreact on a flank, there might just be a dive into the center by the pro team. Still, you got to march at some point, right? I think the thing that always makes this so difficult when you're having to play wide flanks and the Benny Hills soon sets off in your brain is when you have a Zhuji player, because you know what the Zhuji are going to contribute. They really only contribute one thing in most of these comps, and that's going to be the Chuginu. Now, Chuginu, in some circumstances, incredibly effective in team games, where you're able to blunt force your way in, right? Where you're able to just stage a fight in one location. That's where these Chuginu destroy. Whenever the game turns into a pull left and right, this unit starts to look underwhelming because it can't reach anything to even attack. And it feels like the rest of the armies have to stay with you just to defend you, right? Which means things like Onabagisha, which are usually quite fast, these Ghazi Raiders, which are incredibly fast, they can't be fast because they always have to walk at your speed. Chuginu, at least able to park on the center here, though. At least temporarily. Have we got the undermesh? No. So Wama needs to be very careful about this. No blacksmith upgrade in the undermesh. It's now coming through. This is where she can look to take a fight. This is where Jeanne can become a pin cushion simulator because she can take so many shots before dropping. But it's always important that you have that. Otherwise, these Chuginu do ridiculous damage. Green. Blacksmith, yeah, he is on the way. Okay, Steel Arrow is coming through soon. That means he's going to be doing 6 damage per Chuginu into Jeanne. He has 43 of these guys. Which means that he basically has enough Chuginu to almost one-hit Jeanne. In fact, I think he does. If they all start attacking, they all get their flurry of shots off, Jeanne is insta-dead to just one wave. It really comes down to the timing, because Warman's going to have the Divine Restoration, so she theoretically can survive. But it's all about timing. And to be honest, by the time you've cast Divine Restoration, the Chuginu are shooting again, and you're dead. So yeah, kind of an awkward predicament. They need to get the Knights here ASAP. Voldemar finally on the way south, as the walls have more or less been completed. The clash comes out in the center. Instantly, Warman is dead. There was a Jeanne there once upon a time. Not anymore, there isn't though. And Castle Age came out. That was so greedy, teching up in the middle of all this from the Delhi player. Beasty Cutie. Not really contributing much anymore. Scholars have to back away from this. The front line is starting to fold a bit. Corvinus now on the flank, almost loses the woman arms, able to get away from the Chuginu mass. The Chuginu are just countering all the Jeanne players. Where the hell is Voldemar right now? He's coming on the back. He's going to clash with the Samurai, with the Spearmen and the Naganatas. Looks like there's not enough Spearmen here, so great micro there. Love that peel back just in time with the Knights and also the Divine Restoration. So Voldemar might be able to save the day here. He still needs to get in onto the Chuginu though. Purple Knights now showing up. Marika with a buyback brings back in her own woman arms, and this might be enough to clean up. The backstab now coming in from Voldemar. That's what they needed. Blue is going to try to block this out. Looks like there will even be another Jeanne going down, but the Knights, I think they should be delaying this long enough that the greed of Beasty will not be punished. And not just that, look what happened. Level 3 Jeanne. Oh, but level 3 Jeanne is uncounterable. She's so powerful. Oh, she has this 50. Who cares about a 50% reduction? Meet the Chuginu. Watch this. Ready? Kill her again. And definitely not with kindness. Good lord. Oy, oy, oy. However, despite the fact that many Jeannes have died, we need to be realistic about what's happened here, folks. The Delhi is like their own Jeanne now of men-at-arms spam. And all the other Jeannes, bar one, I believe, are now up in level 3 form. This strat now gets very busted. The Chuginu mass is starting to be reduced a bit, and there's only so long that can hold you on. I think we need to start seeing some tech ups from the Northside team. It's not on the cards, right? Yeah. If anything, Beasty's going to go Imperial Age. What? Is that the difference between Delhi in team games and 1v1s? You know, in 1v1s, never go imp. In team games, always go imp. What am I looking at here? Good lord. Yeah, and that Chuginu mass is not growing anymore, folks. Is the other thing to remember here. Also, the trade has gotten better for Corvinus. He's doing max distance now, so he's getting a little bit of payday on the way. 185 gold each trip. Oh my goodness. At this point, if you're the Northside team, you feel like you just have to keep going. You can't slow down. You can't think tech up. You just have to kind of plow in. The upside for you right now is Beasty is a greedy mother ducker. He's literally about to tech up into Imperial Age. He's not really doing anything other than providing scholars. Those scholars, by the way, they're out in the town. They are actually going for all the relics, and there are plenty to grab in an 8-player game. And he's the only player who can. Cleave comes out from Jeanne. He snaps from Warman. Knights are going to plow into this from Pink's side. Where is Jeanne? Did she die already? Oh man, Jeanne's just already dead. So Pink isn't even farming XP from this right now. Start to dive in the base. Yellow's still yet to build up that keep. I mean, funnily enough, Beasty could afford almost 2 keeps at this stage, but he hasn't built a single one. Instead, he's building the Pulse of the Souls. So we're getting elephants. We kind of knew we were getting elephants, didn't we? We knew it was on the horizon. It's pretty smart as well. Tower elephants are actually much more tanky against Chuginu than they used to be. Wallow coming back to reset this. Going to push him away temporarily, and that Chuginu count doesn't look good anymore, folks. It's down to 28. It's been shrinking this entire time. Ay, ay, ay. And I can't believe he's done this in the TK. Oh, definitely not a delightful sight for the Northern side team. Right now, they're just rubbing their eyeballs, going, wait, what's going on here? One of these players is not like the others. Beasty Cutie, despite the fact he was the frontal player, has gone to Imperial Age when every single other player in the game is hard stuck feudal. One around the backside, Jeanne just being ignored right now, but you just can't ignore this anymore. The amount of XP farm has been going on, I wouldn't be surprised if by 20 minutes, we're looking at Mecha Jeanne coming out for 1 or 2 of these players. Oh, yeah, I'm red. It's the correct read. You have to now end the game. I mean, the problem with what Red's done here as well is, like, this base, I wish he just built Raxes on the front side. Maybe they would have had enough firepower that way, but trickling troops just ain't it. Yes, thank you. I can see you have relics. Yep, he really is that player, isn't he? So that's now 7 relics for Delhi. Okay, yep. And there's still a few more on the map. So, chop. Oh my, look at his score. I mean, credit to Red for having close score, but I think a lot of that is walls. Good lord. Let's look at the income, shall we? That's not bad. Considering that he doesn't have a single person gold. Yeah, that's not bad. 614 passive gold. More than that, actually. Like, oh my dear god. I love that he built the moss back. He was like, no, this is too far forward. We need to build it safer. That is 8 relics. Oh yeah, he had a strategy in mind. Some people look at Assassin's Creed. Some people have to be the greed. And, well, we know Beasty will happily be that greed when given the opportunity here. What's happening behind this? Marika now trying to catch up with second TC. Corvus had already built his. Voldemort's just been 1 TC this whole time. Looks like Pink's raids are trying to find the pocket ecos, but it's just not doing enough. And now we see the 9th relic coming in. Jesus Christ. You want to leave someone for anyone else, mate? He's like, no. I'll give you guys. I'll give you the relic. I'll share the relics out when you are level 3. You guys are still in feudal age. Like, okay. Beasty knowing full well none of his teammates are ever going to get out of feudal age. And now he's even got cannon placements on the front side. Okay. Well, it's literally now or never. I don't think the Northern team can wait any longer. They can't wait for their tech ups. If they do, they are just going to lose the game more painfully in about 3 minutes. Keep in mind, by the way, the elephants are coming out from the Palace of the Sultan. And remember, those are gunpowder elephants, folks. 5 tower range, 35 damage per shot, and 2 of them on the back of that. Good luck, Chuginu. I mean, good luck anything, actually, at this stage. Oh, God. Rams hitting the keep, though. Wallow coming out. And Red doesn't realize the Rams don't need to pull back. Another Wallow. The staggered Wallows. That's going to expose the Rams now. Great micro there from Beasty. Able to push the army away. Rams should still be able to get through the keep, but the delay has caused a lot of damage to the main army. And Mecha Jeanne is in. Warman QT gets there first, and she gets there in style. Instantly summons the boys with the cannon. And now it's Plowtown Central. I mean, this is truly over. Ghazi, I think he actually lost some there, didn't he? Oh, yeah. There's no way back. This is over. Oh, Well, it's one Mecha Jeanne for now. I imagine a second one's going to be coming out soon. I don't know where they've gone, actually. I think they may have died. It doesn't matter. One is enough to carry the army to victory. That Valorous Inspiration does buff your allies as well, by the way. So if one would just like to press one single button, everyone's going to be giga-juiced. Voldemar right now. I'd like to point out Voldemar is the pro-level player. Awaman is technically the lowest level player. But yeah, you know, she got level 4 quicker than all the pros, so just saying. That's a hard flex right there. Oh, and now the elephants come. I kind of feel bad for this Northern team. This is not a nice comp. This is mean. This is bullying. I mean, it's bad enough that you're 3 players doing 4v4s. 3 pro players doing 4v4s. And Warman, by the way, Warman is like a diamond level player, right? So she's competent as well. She's hit Conk before. And these poor buggers. I don't know if they were a 4-stat themselves, but if they were not ready for this. Jeanne be blasting everything. And the elephants are just there as the fun cheerleaders that just can't be stopped. Jesus, 600 HP, 10 ranged armor. And if you're in range to actually hurt them, you're in range to die. So this is pretty done. Keep coming up now from Beasty just to say, this is my planet. The only upside really is that Beasty, I mean, how many relics did he finish on here? I don't think he got more than the 9. I think he was like, guys, I'm being a bit greedy now. 9 will do. Oh, man. Hey, you know how, like, I done a video on Jeanne D'Arc before, and people, like, I remember one person was just outraged. They're like, I don't get what's broken about this. You're right. Like, Jeanne D'Arc was too much, right? It was like, if you were to, like, take something that's great, but consume too much of it, right? You know, if you harness radioactive material the right way, you can infinite power your neighborhood. But if you get too much of it, you have a Chernobyl. Turns out that 4 Jeannes was Chernobyl. 3 Jeannes, however, and we have got a Mr. Burns ran nuclear facility here. One that has made the northern side team quake and shake in their boots. Well, now boots and everything else have been taken away from them. Southside team cracks Castle Age, and that's enough to convince Northside this is truly over. GG comes out. Turns out Jeanne D'Arc a bit too much, but the delightful Jeanne triplet is the way to go.